Good morning, friends. We have a couple of events lined up the whole of the week, and to top it all, we'll have the budget on the 16th, that is Friday. But before that, we have a plethora of events happening. First is the railway budget, which will come along with the inflation numbers, and we will look at these numbers in the light of whatever has happened in the US. That on the previous day, the Fed meeting also would have happened, and we'll come to know that how the US Fed is looking at its markets. Then on the next day, we have the usual thing coming up, the credit policy, and more important than the budget, it is going to be the credit policy, which is going to be more important in the sense that what they do will be important, and what they don't do will also be equally important. And while we have had a 0.75% cut in CRR, but nevertheless you can never give up hopes of actually a rate cut happening on that day. And on 16th we'll have the budget, but before that we'll have the advanced tax numbers also coming up. We have the budget on the 14th, the railway budget, and although there are very few investors who look at railway stocks, but the ones who actually look, they actually do a good amount of trading on that day. And we have some data here which can give you some idea of what to expect on that particular day. If you were to look at the last 5 years or even 10 years, you will know that the railway budget day is one of those days when you should actually be using that opportunity to exit railway stocks, the stocks in which the biggest market is for railways. So, the same day returns, if you were to look at the day of the railway budget, you'll actually see the railway stocks falling by around 3.3% on the day that the railway budget is presented. If you were to take stock 1 week after that, you'll find that those stocks are down almost 14%. And if you were to look and wait for more and wait for a month, you'll find that those railway stocks are down by 22%. Now, this is a 5 year average. It need not necessarily be that this year also the same thing will happen, but the fact is that most of the people on Dalal Street, they actually use to lighten their commitments the day when a railway budget is presented as far as the railway stocks are concerned. The market is slightly kinder on the mainstream budget. So when that is presented, the markets actually fall for the last 5 years. If you were to look at on the budget day, the average fall is 1.77% for the last 5 years. And if you were to make this a 10-year affair, you'll still see that the average fall on a budget day has been 1.34% as far as the overall index is concerned. But slightly, if you increase the usage, if you increase the time, then you will find that the markets they tend to take a better and informed view. I think that is perhaps after the fine print has come into reading and people now fully realize what the potential is. Or to put it simply, the band effect of a budget which usually lasts for a day or two has been forgotten, and there are other things which have come up. I'd like to say that the latter is true. And after a month of a budget presentation, you'll find that the markets have gone up by almost to 2.68% 1 month after the budget was presented in Parliament. The 10-year average here is not too different, it is still positive 2.16%. Traders must remember that on this particular day you need to segregate your trading picks as well as whatever you are doing for investments. And whatever that you have in trading, please approach the budget day with stop losses fully in place. So not even stop losses should be intact, but also even the target prices can still be given. Even the sell orders can be given for those stocks. So please remember that by the time you see the stock going up, and if you then start to want to punch the order, till that point of time the price may have come and gone as well, and prices may move up very horizontally. You could see a very vertical move in stocks, and and even though the relevant section may not have come up for reading as far as the finance minister is concerned, he may be coming to that, but stock, you may find that stocks have gone up pretty early. So if you have your both sell orders and stop losses in place, I think it will be of great help, and you'll be better make use of this budget trading day. The markets move on fundamentals, and budget is a fundamental event. But more important than this one particular event, because this is an annual event, there are several fundamental events which will keep on happening throughout the year and with increasing periodicity. That is important. One of them is inflation. Second is currency movement. And you all know that to what extent they can make or mar our markets. We have the credit policy, in which we'll have Mr. Subbarao coming and addressing us almost every quarter, and sometimes more than that. You'll have the global scenario. After Greece, you'll have Portugal, you'll have Spain and other countries which will come and try and test your ability to stay invested. But more importantly, it is liquidity which drives the market ultimately. And irrespective of how the budget is, if the liquidity is good, we can have a great time even in a post budget scenario. And liquidity will have its own reasons. They might like India, FIs might come to India, that India is a great place to be in, or despite, even though the budget is not good, let's say it is not as good, and then also you could find that the money is flowing in tons from the FIIs, because they believe that India is a better place, not as compared to Brazil but also as compared to China. So if these kind of comparisons come in, and if our domestic play comes in, which is very different from as compared to Brazil and China, then of course we can still continue to attract the kind of billions of dollars that have come in, and I'm sure that the coming year will attract more than 39,000 odd crores that have come in India so far.